Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. I'm currently in Brighouse and I'm about to explore the remains of a 3.5-mile branch line that ran between Pickle Junction in Brighouse to the Pickle Bridge Junction up in Wyke. The branch line was proposed by the Yorkshire and Lancashire Railways. It was opened in 1881 and closed fully to passengers and rail traffic in 1952. The Pickle Bridge Branch Line, marked in red, also known as the Brighouse Branch Line and the Bailiff Bridge Branch Line. It was proposed as part of the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway West Riding Branches Bill of 1866 in order to shorten the rail distance between Huddersfield and Bradford. In today's Explore, we're going to be searching for all the remains of the branch line between the Pickle Junction starting here. We'll then make our way northwest over the River Calder, through towards Clifton Railway Station, before concluding the video at Thornhills Viaduct. We'll conclude part 1 of the video here. Just behind me here you can see where the branch would have been. Now it's pretty much industrial around this area. However, you can just see over here there's some remains of a bridge that carried the line across over where I am now. You can't really see much, but the junction for the railway would have crossed just over the top of where I am stood. You can see some remains or some foundations of where I think the bridge would have been, and it would have crossed all the way over the top. And on the other side there's some abutments that show where the railway line crossed, and it will have made a curve northwest all the way up towards Wyke. So the line headed across over that way. What we need to do is walk down the road. Now there are some remains of some more abutments, so we're going to head down here. I'm going to turn left onto the River Calder and find the remains of these abutments. So down there is where I've just walked, and I'll show you that bridge that went across over the River Calder. So we're going to walk down here, and then we're going to make our way down there to find these abutments. A nice little view on the River Calder. Across there is where a bridge, across those abutments, or those little remains of a bridge that we saw down there, we'll have gone across the river here, just somewhere further down there. Now it's actually worth knowing that this branch line actually had 3 different names. So it was actually known as the Pickle Bridge Branch, the Brighouse Branch, and the Bailiff Bridge Branch Line. So 3 names were associated with this line, which I find quite strange, but it did have 3 names. So I'm getting close to these abutments. I'm going to show you what they look like now. So just made it further down the River Calder. You can see the bridge abutments across the river just there, where a bridge would have curved over and then gone to the left towards the Clifton Common Railway Station. And if you just take a look to my left here, we're looking at here the other side of the bridge abutments. They look like they were made of stone. So this is the abutments right here, and the bridge will have been fairly high. See the other side? So they're the bridge abutments. The line did have 2 railway stations on the way towards Wyke. So you've got Clifton Common Station, which is where we're about to head to next, and try and find the site of where the station actually was. You had Bailiff Bridge that was slightly further up. Now I believe that Clifton Common Station did close early in the 20th century. So we're going to go up there and see if we can find the location of the station. So I'm currently on Clifton Common Road in Brighouse. Just behind me up here is an embankment. Up there used to be the railway station. It was called Clifton Road Station. Now you can't actually get up onto the embankment as it's fenced off and I believe it's private. However, that was the location just up there of Clifton Road Station. So I've just been granted a bit of permission to just come and have a look at some of the land where the old Clifton railway station was. Now you can see here, there's plenty of platform remnants. You can just see some remains of a platform just down the left here. And just down here, we've got the remains of what we believe is an old room. So you can just see like stone base there. This is where the station would have been. I think you had a ticket office somewhere around here. You can just see here platform remains. Now this station I think closed in around 1917 I believe. Well, it was the early 20th century when it closed. But David has just told me that there used to be a tunnel that ran right underneath here. So you could get from one side, and I'm guessing this was the entry into the station. You could get from one side to the other and get onto the platform, which would have just been here. So you've got two platforms. You can just see over here more platform remnants. It's nice, all that still remains. So this was Clifton Road railway station. I think it closed in 1917. Beyond there is where I've just come from the Anchor Pit Junction. And apparently I was told that there was a metal bridge that crossed over the road as it made its way through a cut-in and then round here onto this section of the line to Clifton railway station. So this was your entry in. This was Station Road, where the entrance into the station would have been. Yep. And I've been told that it was horse and cart when the line first opened. Here you've got what was an old ticket office, or the remains of a ticket office. You can just see an arch just there, a bricked up arch, and that was meant to be a fireplace, obviously no longer there. You see this nice red brick architecture. But yeah, all this here would have been an office, and I'm guessing there would have been, that tunnel would have then entered in there onto the platform edges. Here's another shot of the office from this side. Now Dave does say that it was actually built out of stone, and that red brick wall there was obviously just interior. So it would have been a stone building just here, and then that was the internal part of the building. So yeah, this was your access route.
Yeah. I feel like that is hardcore.
Hardcore, yeah. So it would have had what underneath?
In another week or two, there'd be a tractor coming up here.
Yeah.
Every couple of days to feed them cattle.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a stone embankment. I've never seen one of these. So
that string course up there and that capping course up there, as Derbyshire gritstone is that.
So I've just been told by Dave. Now he said to me that obviously this was Station Road, but if you just have a look here, there's one in the far corner. Now these were brackets that actually held up the sign saying Clifton Road Station. Now that's something I would have never known had I not bumped into him. But yeah, you could just see the bracket, and apparently it would have said Clifton Road Station. So just here I've got a couple of pictures with permission from the owner of the shop, actually let me take, showing you the viaduct when it crossed over here. So I'm going to show you a little photo fade like whilst the viaduct was up and after it was demolished. So you can just see this other embankment here where the viaduct would have crossed over from the Clifton Road station. So this is Clifton Common Road. Just up there you've got the embankment to where the Clifton Common station was, and just here where I'm stood there used to be a viaduct, and I think it was about 5 arches. Just in the distance there you've got the Pickle Bridge sandwich shop. Now there's a lot of history in there. There's some pictures on the wall, and the lady let me in last week to have a look. I'm going to show you a few pictures she let me take of this viaduct that used to be here. Now the woman that does own the shop did say that she was present when this viaduct was demolished back in 1972. You can just see here on the other side of Clifton Common Road, the bottom of the bridge, or the viaduct, and you can see it heads onto another embankment. So I've just made it up onto the embankment just beyond the viaduct. As you can see, it's all overgrown. So this is track bed right here. I'm going to see if we can find any remains of this line before we head to our next major piece of infrastructure, which is a viaduct, I think near Thornhill. You can see now it's all open track bed, which is now like a little pathway. You can see all these cable wirings here now. They're nothing to do with the railway. I don't think there's pretty much railway memorabilia. I'm just going to take you on a route of where the line actually passed. Back that way is the Anchor Pit junction, and we're heading north west towards Wyke. I just got to say, I randomly bumped into Dave, who actually rents the land around where Clifton Road station was. Now I never expected to actually get any footage of that today. I was literally just going to film the location and put a picture up, but it was actually a bonus that I managed to get the site of the station in. So like I said, not much railway memorabilia. However, you can see that the line was two lines, all these overhead cables, but like I said, nothing to do with the railway. I think this here would have been our track bed. You could just see like we're in a kind of half small cutting as we make our way towards this viaduct. So again, we're pretty much further on the line, headed towards that viaduct near Thornhill. See the track bed here, and again it's just literally no railway memorabilia, and it's just all overgrown right here. And I think there's a little path that comes off the line down towards the viaduct, so just make that little venture off here, and there is like a little side path that does walk adjacent to the line. I don't think I'm on track bed level. So made it to the viaduct. Now I'm unsure of the actual name of the viaduct, but I think it was called Thornhill. But it is blocked off, so you can't get on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head off the path down onto the road and show you some shots of the viaduct. Just have a little walk up to where we can first. You can see it's clearly overgrown and it's fenced off, so there's no getting onto that viaduct to have a look. Should have been nice. Yeah, bolted and sealed, they don't want you on that viaduct, which I kind of understand. So let's head off the viaduct. I'm going to get some shots. So this is a shot of the viaduct just before I head down onto the road. And I think there's about 5 or 6 arches going across. I'm going to count them when I go down. I've made it onto Thornhill Road. This is the viaduct that's behind. It's got 5 arches going across. Nice stone masonry, still left here abandoned. Obviously you can't get on it, but there's 5 arches going across towards another embankment over there. Now I'm not going to venture further on there because I think it approaches a private land, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back. I'm going to drive further on beyond the private land to where the Bailiff Bridge railway station was. Before I do, I'm just going to get you some nice little shots of the viaduct and a few pictures.